Rider number 2, Daniel Yeager, first one on course with the timing active. Do not have the live stream up yet, but we're going to do a local recording for now first. Daniel Yeager's been riding here at Spider Mountain for about a year now. Has certainly fallen in love with the sport. Looks like we have a gate issue out of the gate here, which is good. Let's figure these kinks out as we go. Something triggered the finish gate. Right when he dropped. Literally immediately after he dropped. Could have been a bird. Daniel Yeager coming towards the finish line. How's he going to handle this loose off camber? Through the finish line. Oh, that's what was going on. He was the first one down, so we'll see. Posting a 54.82, setting the bar for everyone today. Looks like I need to lower the gain. Rider number 2, Daniel Yeager, coming out onto course here. Let's see what Daniel's got for us. This is the second time lapped for Daniel today. Some funny business going on with the overall clock, but it is, in fact, still running on screen, so the graphic is just doing something odd. Daniel around the first left-hand turn. No problems there. Coming in clean into this rock section. Off the drop, no problems, and now he is going to be pedaling his way down to this finish line, across the double, into the sketchy off-camber, and into the finish line, reporting a 50.37 for Daniel Yeager, setting the new hot seat time of 50.37 seconds. We have rider number 3, Nikhil Bhakta, in the gate, getting lined up, ready to drop in for his run. Few graphics issues this morning, but let's see what we've got going on. Nikhil Bhakta now on course. Ignore the live clock graphic on screen. There's a little bit of a bug there that we are working with. Nikhil coming around this first left-hander, clean on that high line. A good choice if he wants to carry speed. Oh, good news. Looks like the split times are fixed, and he is showing to be up by 1.4 seconds. Now, I'm not sure which time that's being compared against, but we're going to find out shortly here. Nikhil coming down through the finish line. What is the time going to be? And he posts a 43.88 seconds. Daniel Yeager. Uh-oh. Echo. I don't love the echo. That's weird. That didn't happen before. Sound check. That's going to be annoying. Sound check. There we go. All right, Daniel Yeager coming in. The clock's working. The splits are working. He is fighting against his previous time of something. 50.37 seconds for Daniel looks like. Split 1 showing to be back by 1.6 seconds. Split 2 showing to be back by 2.8 seconds, putting him into second against himself. Let's see if he can push through this final section and make up that time. Daniel Yeager, new time of 49.33. All right, so the splits are deceiving somehow. I got to figure out why. But he has a 49.33, his new personal best for the day. Rider number 6, Joseph Datoy, a frequenter of Spider Mountain, out here doing it for the boys. And he is getting on track. Let's see what Joseph has for us. How is he going to handle this big, gnarly left-hander? Multiple rock ledges, multiple lines. Is he going to take the low side? Is he going to cut up early and get to that high side? a little sketchier. Looks like he is closer to that high line. Coming around that first turn, and he is up by 0.08 seconds. We believe that split to be against Daniel Yeager's time of something that I don't have on screen, so I can't say. But the split might tell us. And there goes the main clock. Joseph not visible on camera. Hopefully, no issues of safety. There he is, back on course. Let's see. Yeah, back 19 seconds. So Joseph may have had a little spill there. But here he is coming into the finish line, clean into the off-camber, loose, dusty rocks, back by 20.7 seconds for Joseph. Good effort out there. Rider number 7, N. Ho-Ho, on course. Looks like we've got the clock up and running. A little bit of funny business going on with that live clock today. Got to figure out what's going on with that graphic on screen. But otherwise, the timing itself is still fully functional. Coming around that left-hander, clean and on the pedals. Definitely something that is needed. N. Ho-Ho coming down the first big turn into the downhill that's going to take him towards this double. Looks like he's going to cleanly pump his way across that one. Coming into the final finish, what do we got? 47.47, slotting him into a first place in the beginners category. Rider number 8, Garrett Crum, entering the course. Looks like we've got Nikhil Bhakta right behind him, ready to do another timed lap. We're going to be ignoring that live clock at the top for the live stream watchers. A little bit buggy, that clock today. But the split times are accurate. Let's see what Garrett's got for us. And he is up by 0.35 seconds. Riding in the category of most people, that's a respectable time. We got a few riders putting down fast times in that category. Split 2 showing to be back by 0.94 seconds. Garrett is going to need to crank those pedals and hold on for dear life in this off-camber if he wants to take it. 46.27 for Garrett Crum, slotting him into first place in the most people category. Rider number 3, Nikhil Bhakta, coming back out here. Looks like has put one timed lap down the mountain so far. A 43.88 for Nikhil in the pro men category. Yeah, we're going to ignore that live clock on screen that's paused. He definitely has not run a 4.65 seconds. It's just not updating. But let's see what this first turn has for us. Clean up on the high line. Look at the exit speed carried out of that big hairpin corner. Split 1 showing him to be back by 0.58 seconds. Again, we'll have to confirm what those splits are being compared against. We are, in fact, testing a new software base today, showing to be faster at split 2, 0.64 seconds. Nikhil across the finish line with a 44.64. Rider number 6, Joseph Dutoy, in the gate, putting those goggles on, and he is going to need them for this run. The course is dry and fast today in this Texas heat, meaning we are getting a rolling speed up pretty quick. That final section of course is quite straight. All right, Joseph hopping onto the track. Let's see what he's got. Joseph coming around this big left-hander, clean, good lean, staying out of the crumblies in that big left-hander. And he is showing to be back at split 1 by 0.69 seconds and it seems as though I have hit the wrong button. Oh, here we go. Let's cut to the right camera. Graphics back up. Joseph coming in towards the finish line. Clock is ticking. Let's see what it's going to be for Joseph. 44.97 across the finish line for Joseph DeToy, rider number 6. He has just, let's see, what was that? Back by 1.08 seconds into second off of Nikel's 43.88. That is in touch. Nikel is going to be sweating today because Joseph is out here trying to take that time away. Daniel Yeager, rider number 2, cracking it onto course here into the shade. Let's get these cameras working properly here. There we go. All right, so Daniel Yeager, let's see, how many runs has he done today? He has been out here sweating in the heat. Looks like he has 3 attempts already done. A little squirrely in that left-hander, but that's not going to stop him from pedaling. Personal best of 49.33 seconds for Daniel. Oh, thank you so much, bro.
It's going to be turkey.
I'm sure it's delicious. Yes, thank you. I appreciate you. What's your name?
My name's Sky.
Sky, thank you.
Yeah, I work in the food truck.
Okay.
If you ever want one, it's $10. Also comes with a bag of chips.
Daniel Yeager across the finish line. Thank you, Sky. With a 52.12. Not going to rival his previous times today. Maybe that summer heat is starting to get to him. Rider number 8, Garrett Crum, entering the course. Previous best time for the day, 46.27 in the category of most people. A 46.27 is showing to be a very respectable time for today on this particular course. Let's see if he's going to be digging deeper each run, and he is up. Split 1 showing him to be faster by his first time by 0.07 seconds. Garrett Crum is on a heater today, just like the sun that we are all feeling out here. Clean around that turn, and he is coming in towards the finish line, the big straightaway, and he is cooking, trying to maintain grip on this crazy loose dust we have, and he comes in with a 45.56, slotting him into a new faster time. Looks like, yeah, he beat his time by 1.68 seconds. 45.56, new fastest time to beat. Rider number 7, N. Ho-Ho, entering the course. Let's see what he's got. Previous best time of 47.47 in the category of beginners. That's a pretty aggressive time to be in the beginner category. But let's see if he wants to put down another heater and prove himself that he wants to be up in the category of most people. We will find out shortly. Clean around the big first gnarly left-hander. And he is still on the bike. Oh, man, that drop looked smooth. Let's see what this final time has to say. He's currently back by 1.6 seconds off the hottest time in the beginner category. Oh, a little bit loose. And he goes across the finish line, putting down a new fastest time in the beginner category of a 46.91. Rider number 4, Brian Giddens, doing his first timed lap of the day. Clock goes live. He is on course. Let's see what he's got for us. We'll have to figure out something that's going wrong with that graphic display of the main clock, but the main clock is still running. Let's see what Brian's got around this first turn. Chooses to go low to high around that, but clean. And now he's going to have to get on those pedals pretty aggressively. Showing to be back by 0.11 seconds at split 1. Let's see what he's got. Working his way down that gnarly right-hander with the drop in it. And he's going to have to get on those pedals. He's back by 0.77 in touch. He could be taking this win. What is it going to be for Brian Giddens across the line? He slides into second place by only 1.8 seconds. Is that right? No, the split time is not correct. He is only back by 1.13 seconds off of Garrett's time of 45.56. Rider number 2, Daniel Yeager, coming back out onto course. He is putting down the reps today, everyone. He is just, I think this is lap number 5 that he's working on. Fastest time for Daniel today looks like a 49.33. And he is clean around the gnarly left-hander, showing to be back by 1.64 seconds at split 1. It's a tough one out there, especially the deeper you get into your practice runs, the more tired you're going to be, as the sun does beat down on us quite aggressively here at Spider Mountain. Split 2 back by 2.24. Let's see if we can hold a clean line and put a new PR down. Daniel Yeager putting down a 48.54, a new record for himself. Slowly turning up the knob and the intensity here at Spider Mountain. Nikhil Bhakta back at the top. Rider number 3 has 2 thumbs up in his photo because he loves this sport of mountain biking. Frequently driving from the valley up here to Spider to show people how it's done. What has Nikhil got for us today? Previous best time of 43.88. Very, very high line around that hairpin left-hander. That is the line most likely if you want to be taking the top spot today in any category. Definitely requires commitment because you're riding up on a big, scary ledge for those that can't see it. Looks like he's coming down clean. Showing to be split 2 back by 0.038. Is he going to put down a new fastest time? What's it going to be for Nikhil? And he shaves it by 0.05 seconds. A new, hold on. I got to figure out what's going on with those splits. Nikhil Bhakta's fastest time of 43.88 put down in a previous run. That run was a 44.92. Rider number 9, Nate Smith, putting down his first timed lap of the day. His favorite discipline is downhill mountain biking, and that would be obvious if you saw how many times he comes out to Spider Mountain. The other day, Nate and his wonderful wife were telling me about how they feel wrong when they do not come out to Spider Mountain for the weekend. All right, Nate coming clean around that left-hand turn. Split 1 showing to be back by 0.72. But we'll have to see what the final time is because weird things are going on with the graphics splits today. All of the live data on the website is correct. But Nate Smith coming towards the finish line. Fastest time, what is it going to be? 45.09 from Nate. Setting the fastest time for the category of most people. Taking the top spot. Rider number 7, N. Ho-Ho, coming down for his 3rd attempt of the day. Let's see what he has for us. Looks like first lap was a 47.47. Second lap, 46.91. Showing to be improving his time each time he comes down the mountain. Let's see what he's got. Split 1 showing him to be back by 0.45 seconds. A few bugs in the software, so not sure if that's going to be correct. But that's why we're testing it today. Split 2 showing him to be up by 0.06. Final finish here. The only finish, in fact. And he comes through, and what is the total going to be for N-Ho-Ho? He comes in with a 45.29 seconds in the beginner category, everybody. Rider number 8, Garrett Crum. Let's see what he's got. 45.56 is Garrett's best time so far for today. And he's only done, looks like, he's done 2 laps already. and he has improved his time on each lap. Garrett Crum, split one, up by 0.51 seconds, putting in the heaters, shaving a half a second off your time in the first section is something to brag about. That's about a 20-second split. All right, split two showing to be up by 0.68 seconds. Is Garrett going to put down a new, faster time today? What's it going to be for Garrett? Slides into the top spot in the most people category, setting the new fastest time for that category with a 44.10. Rider number 2, Daniel Yeager, out of the start gate and out onto this course. Let's see what he's got for us today. So far, incrementally working his way faster and faster. 5 attempts already on the books for Daniel. 48.54 being his fastest one. Some riders like to work their way up in speed throughout the day. Some like to go crazy on their first run. Daniel showing to be one of the more thoughtful riders, figuring out his lines, pushing the limits of the grip one run at a time, trying to balance the fatigue with that at the same time. Looks like he's jumping across that double now. Daniel Yeager coming across the finish line with a 54.31. Not his fastest time, potentially a bobble or some odd pebble catching his tires in there somewhere. Rider number 4, Brian Giddens, coming out on course here, hometown of North Richland Hills, and he has been riding since he was a kid. One of the things he did, apparently, to get started was seeing his first ABA Grand Nationals trophy. And he was like, you know what? I want a trophy for myself. So I'm going to start that racing stuff. Coming around this first turn, showing to be up at split one by 0.13 seconds. Brian Giddens putting down the pedals for today. Looking clean through that rock drop. He's going to have to hold on to that speed if he wants to keep it all the way through the finish line. Keep the grip on the last section. What's it going to be for Brian Giddens? Oh my word, setting a new fastest time in the most people category. Sliding into the top spot with a 43.06. Rider number 8, Garrett Crum, back out on course for his 4th lap timed of the day. Garrett with a current fastest time of 44.10. Holding a good position, but I do not believe he is holding the fastest position. Split one, showing him to be back by 0.16 seconds. The fastest time, I believe, in his category was a 43 something, which is what he's striving to get. And, oh, man, he's back by 0.13 seconds at the second split. That is in touch if he can really maintain his speed across this finish line. What do we got for Garrett? Coming across the line with a 44.16. Not his fastest time of the day, 44.10 being his fastest time of the day. Currently still holding the second position. Rider number 7, N Ho Ho. It is believed that that is not, in fact, his real name. He has chosen to remain anonymous for the time being, but he has not chosen to slow down. In the previous category of beginners, he was proving to put down times that were considered to be sandbagging, so we bumped him up into the most people category for today. A long time since he's been on the bike, allegedly 12 months, and it's his first time back on it. So definitely some skills in the tank. They say it's like riding a bike when you come back to riding a bike. But he comes down across the finish line. What's it going to be? A 46.09 for N Ho Ho. Rider number 6, Joseph DeToy, out here with a heater of 44.97. The only time for him to beat is a 43.88 seconds set by Nikhil Bhakta in the Pro Men category. And he is gearing up at the top to have full commitment into this run. Definitely getting in the zone. We do not have one of those Whoop monitors on him, so we cannot show his heart rate. Oh, we got to change cameras here. Where's my mouse? All right. Joseph on track. 44.97 was his current fastest time in the Pro Man category. And it looks like he's coming down with a .62 off of that top spot. So Joseph may be in contention for this win today, trying to knock Nikhil down a spot. Let's see if he's got what it takes. Coming towards the finish line, Joseph out in the open, clean across the off-camber, into the finish. And ladies and gentlemen, we have, in fact, the new fastest time of the day set by Joseph DeToy, a smoking 42.96 seconds, taking a whole second almost out of Nikhil's time. Rider number 2, Daniel Yeager, going for another run. Let's see what run number he is on for today. This is his 7th attempt. I believe Daniel currently holds the record for most timed attempts in the day. His previous time going slower by his fastest time of about 7 seconds. Keeping it clean around that scary turn, though. Let's see what Daniel has for us. It is believed that he is out here ranking up those spider points, trying to get up on the spider leaderboard simply by quantity of runs. And Daniel Yeager coming hot down towards the finish line, holding a solid line through the off-camber, and across the line he goes with a 49.33, right there with his fastest time of 48.54. All righty, ladies and gentlemen, Nikhil Bhakta, rider number 3 in the start gate. And at the finish line, I have with me here the current hot seat leader, Joseph DeToy, with a 42.96. Joseph, you are about a whole second. Is that my math correct? You're a whole second in front of Nikhil? Okay. Joseph, what is the secret to being the fastest at Spider Mountain?
More laps and more pedals.
More laps, more pedals. Okay, do you think Nikhil's going to beat you on this run?
Oh, yeah. I know he got more in the tank, so good luck.
All right, Nikhil, you've got a good luck from Joseph at the bottom here. Let's go ahead and let you know you can come down. Nikhil Bhakta, rider number 3. Pumped up for this race run. Let's see what he's got left in the tank. And he is through the start gate. Clock running for now. Let's see if it keeps running. Let's see, Nikhil, his 4th timed attempt for the day. Up on the high line, very leaned over in that turn. He's carrying some speed. Does he have what it takes to take away that top time? Split 1 showing to be .31 back. That would slot him into 3rd if the splits are correct. Oh, my word! Nikhil Bhakta up by .71 seconds at split 2 if that split's correct. What is the finish time going to say? Oh, my gosh! Nikhil Bhakta, everybody, goes fastest with a 41.91. Absolutely blasting the time away of Joseph. Oh, my gosh. Let's get Nikhil up here for the hot seat for a quick interview. Joseph DeToy now wondering if he's going to have to go back up there and do another lap. A hot run, a whole second on top of Joseph's time. Are we going to see a sub 40-second time today, Nikhil? What do you think?
Well, I just started trying, so yeah, I think so.
You just started trying. That's hilarious. How many more laps do you think you have in you in this heat today?
I would say a few. A few more laps, yeah.
A few more laps. All right. So when you were in that run, what were you thinking about to make sure that you were going to come down with the top time?
Man, for one, I was like, let me make sure I'm clipped in properly before I drop in. I had some issues with that before. So everything went perfect. I mean, no mistakes. Hit all my lines. Hit the high line on the hairpin. Came down here pretty nicely, so went well.
Are you going to leave that time where it's at unless somebody beats it today, or are you going to be prepared for a sub 40-second run?
I'll see how hungry these guys are, and yeah, once my time gets beat, then I'll try.
Awesome. Thanks, Nick. Rider number 9, Nate Smith. Riding one of the only riders out here, I believe, to have a handlebar stem combination, giving him the weight advantage when it comes to how heavy his cockpit setup is. Whether or not that is going to be the thing that gets him his fastest time, we do not know. We've got Nate Smith on course split 1, showing him to be back by 0.94 seconds. Nate competing in the most people category. Recently back at Spider Mountain from a nasty shoulder blade injury, and Nate across the finish line with a 44.87, sliding him into second place in the most people category. New fastest time for Nate Smith. All right, we have rider number 11, Carlos Hoff, on course. Thought we had a brief technical issue there with the radios. Did not, in fact. Carlos Hoff, let's see, riding in the category of most people. Split 1 showing back 1.54 seconds. Definitely in contention, Carlos, for a strong placement. Split 2, back by 4.1 seconds. The sun beating down on all of us riders today. Carlos across the finish with a 46.58, slotting him into a solid 4th place in the most people category. Rider number 10, Cameron Barry, feet cleanly on the pedals for his start. Let's see what Cameron has for us today. Definitely going to want to get that live clock graphic fixed eventually. But for now, the timing itself is running. Cameron Barry, split 1, back by 2.39 seconds. Known as the peddler from San Diego, his hometown, Cameron Barry is going to be on the pedals for this race run. Split 2 back by 5.74 seconds, so he's really going to need to be on the pedals if he wants to pull a top 3 spot for this category, and he's across the finish line with a 48.85. Just barely missing the 5th spot with a 48.54 held by Daniel Yeager. Rider number 2, Daniel Yeager. Daniel has been aggressively racking up the spider points today. For every lap you do that's timed, you get a spider point that puts you on the spider leaderboard, therefore rewarding everybody for participation, meaning you can be the slowest rider on Spider Mountain and still be at the top of the spider leaderboard because you love this sport so much that you will just ride all day long when it's 100 degrees. Daniel Yeager, split 1, back by 1.55 seconds. And my camera switching is not working here. There we go. Oh, Daniel clean across the drop. Split 2, showing to be back by just a little bit more. Is he going to be setting a new fastest time for himself today? Had a 48.54 to beat. And Daniel Yeager puts a new fastest lap down for the day. That was his 8th run for the day, and he's still putting down faster laps. Very strong effort from Daniel Yeager. Carlos Hoff, rider number 11, out on course. Let's see what we've got for Carlos. This would be his 2nd timed attempt for the day. His first one coming in with a 46.58. Definitely a strong time. He is riding in the most people category. And I think the cutoff for that 5th place time in that category right now is around 45 seconds. So if he can shave just a little bit more off of this one and clean it up for us, he will be able to break that 5th place and show up on the top 5 leaderboard. Let's see what Carlos has for it across the finish line. A 44.88 for Carlos. Oh, and it looks like, no, that's right. He just slotted into 3rd place in the most people category. A 44.88. Rider number 6, Joseph Datoy, he was holding the hot seat for a solid 10 to 15 minutes at least with a 42.96. But recently, Nikhil Bhakta heard that he was not in the top spot anymore, and that was just not okay with him. So he came down and stole that time away by posting a 41.91, which is the new time to beat for Joseph. Which camera? There we go. Joseph showing up on camera, clean around the left-hander. Missing split times. There we go. Let me bring those graphics back up on screen. Split 1, Joseph Datoy back by 0.72 seconds. That's good enough to slot into potential 4th if that's reporting correctly. And Joseph is back by 1.73 seconds. Hopefully these canopies do not blow away in the wind. What do we got? Joseph across the line, posting a 43.78 time, not his fastest time. Therefore, not going to knock Nikhil Bhakta down out of his top spot for now. Rider number 2, Daniel Yeager. Easily holding the record for the most time lapse of the day. Daniel out here doing what it takes to get up there in the Spider leaderboard. This is Daniel's 9th lap timed for the day, and he's done a really good job keeping up the pace with his previous best. Let's see. Oh, gotta switch the cameras. Here we go. Daniel coming clean around this right-hand rock drop. Now it's time for him to get on the pedals. He's going to be out in the open just a second. Jumping across the double, looks like. Onto the off-camber and into the finish line for Daniel, posting a 47.60. Daniel's fastest time of the day. If you had done 9 laps on a hot day today, would you still be going faster? Brian Giddens, rider number 4, coming back out on course for his 3rd attempt today. Previous best of 43.06. Brian has his father out here down at the finish line, ready to cheer him on and or see something go catastrophically wrong at this last crazy off-camber section. Things are running loose out here today. There we go. Brian coming onto the camera. Split 1. He is up by 0.43 seconds. Split 2 back by 0.16. So Brian fighting for something here. Coming through the off-camber into the finish, and Brian posting a 42.03, knocking Joseph Datoy down into 3rd. The disappointment on Joseph's face is visible. Oh, man, he knows he's going to have to go back up there and fight for it again. Rider 12, Ryan Atwell, doing it out here for Tequila and Burritos, is his official sponsor. Ryan's first timed lap of the day. Looks like he might have a friend follow him on course. I got to switch the cameras correctly here. Ryan Atwell, no problems on the first left-hander. Things getting pretty loose in there. Spider Mountain has a very unique style of dirt-rock combination. The rocks are very present, and at the same time, they like to break apart easily, usually leading to lots of pebbles and chunks of rock ending up on course in riders' lines. Ryan Atwell coming across the finish line. He is on the pedals, putting a 44.70 down on the clock. In the most people category, that would put him in second place. We have Daniel Yeager here, current rider who's done the most time lapse of the day, and he's about to give everybody the course update since he does have the most experience on course of what exactly things are running like right now.
Hey guys, it's pretty hot out there and very dusty. Also a lot of like high contrast, so it's kind of tough to read the trail. Hard to know where grip will be and where it won't be, but that's why you ride. You build your intuition and build your ability to judge things, but it's doing good out, just trying to stay cool, get some shade, make sure to drink water and get electrolytes in you, and keep on riding.
An excellent summary from our most lap-heavy rider today. If anybody knows the course conditions, it's going to be him. All right, rider number 11, Carlos Hoff, now on course. Let's see what Carlos has for us. This is his third timed attempt of the day. Coming around the big left-hander with the chunky rocks. No problems there. Now it's time for him to get on those pedals in that slight uphill section. Looks like we got some graphics doing some funny things here. There we go. Carlos Hoff coming around the big right-hander before the final straight. What's it going to be for Carlos? Looks like he's holding clean grip in the off-camber through the finish line with a 43.99 for Carlos. Good news for Carlos. That is now the hot seat holder for the most people category. Rider number 13, Grant Doolittle. Our first time seeing him do a timed lap on course today. Definitely seen him at Spider Mountain a number of times getting those practice laps in. Let's see what kind of time Grant can give us today. And here he is clean around the first hairpin left-hander. Grant is riding in the most people category. And let's see what kind of time he is comfortable putting down today. If my memory serves me, he is here recovering from a potential injury. I believe had a bad crash on Sidewinder before, and now he's back racing it, and Grant goes across the finish line with a 52.52. Rider number 2, Daniel Yeager, a name to remember. Certainly you've heard it a number of times today because he has put down 9 completed laps, this being his 10th lap. Daniel is hungry for those spider points, climbing up the leader ranks. He used to be in the 30s, and I believe his last rank was 15. Daniel out here getting credit for the effort. One of the unique things about the Spider leaderboard, awarding points by effort, not by lap speed. Daniel coming through the fast right-hand turn into the straight open section, and he is holding on to things with no problem into the finish line. Daniel putting down a 53.08. So relaxing that time a little bit. Previous times for Daniel, looks like his previous best was a 47.60. So Daniel relaxing things a little bit, but by golly, he is still putting in the effort. Rider number 5, Andrew Berger, putting down his first timed lap of the day. Let's see what he's got for us on course. Generally, we want to see the clock around 17 or 18 seconds when they come on the view of the first camera. And there's Andrew Berger right on time. riding in the category of most people. He says his hometown is, in fact, Austin, specifically his garage, potentially where he likes to live. And anyone who spends that much time in a garage probably is very familiar with his bike. And here comes Andrew Berger pedaling heavy across the finish line, putting down a 44.39, slotting him into third place. Rider 13, Grant Doolittle, his second lap, now on course. He was informing me at the bottom of the previous one that this was going to be a practice. His first one was more practice, kind of a sight lap. So we're expecting the heat to be turned up a little bit from Grant on this particular run. And he's coming across that first split, only 1.5 back. Certainly is turning up the heat. He is in contention for one of these top spots. Gonna have to be on the pedals quite a bit to catch up. But let's see. Split 2 showing to be back by 2.36 seconds. Grant Doolittle, oh, he's getting loose across the final off camber, and he comes in with a 45.54 time. Rider number 3, Nikhil Bhakta, currently holding the fastest time on the mountain for today, a 41.91. Let's see if he's going to try to crack that 40-second mark, because the other 2 riders in contention for that spot are right there with him at that start gate. Let's see if Nikhil can get just a little bit more grip out of this run, and he is really leaning into that first turn. That is quite a lot of speed. Split 1 is showing him to be back by 1.26 seconds. So Nikhil is already a hair back, but he is making up that time. The section in there went faster, and let's see what he's got across the finish line. Oh, Nikhil posting a 42.29. His fastest time of a 41.91 still holds the lead. Nate Smith, rider number 9 in the gate, riding that beautiful orange Scott, which he has so carefully wrapped completely in clear vinyl as to avoid chips, which is the thing that happens often here at Spider Mountain. All of these small pebbles bouncing off. Nate Smith approaching the first gnarly left-hand turn. Quite a lot of rock ledges in that turn. There's really only 2 lines, the main lines anyway. Let's see which one he's going to pick. Looks like he's somewhere in the middle, kind of assuming he took the low entrance. But Nate Smith back 1.92 seconds at the first split, riding in the most people category. Looking clean through this right-hand turn. And on the pedals towards the finish line, here comes Nate. He is pinned. Oh, he's getting loose, but he's holding on to it into the finish line, and his time is going to be a 44.90. Rider 12, Ryan Atwell, riding for Tequila and Burritos. Let's see what Ryan has for us today. Out of Cedar Park, he has claimed that he's been riding long enough that he should be better than he is. In his own profile, his words, not mine. But the good news is he's fighting for it. He's getting these practice laps in, so he's not giving up. For his favorite discipline, he has chosen that the less pedaling, the better, which I can full-heartedly agree with. And here comes Ryan Atwell towards the finish line. Off camber, holds his line on the pedals into the finish, and Ryan puts down a 44.31. All righty, Joseph DeToy gearing up. Now on course. He's going to have to beat a 41.91 from Nikhil Bhakta. Nikhil currently sitting in the hot seat. Doesn't seem too stressed down here, but let's see what the split times tell us. Joseph DeToy out at Spider Mountain frequently to get practice laps in, and he's only back by 0.67 seconds at the first split. So definitely can save that. Lots of room to pedal on this particular course and make up time. Joseph coming down the final straightaway into the finish. What's it going to be for Joseph? Joseph posting a 43.74 time. His previous fastest time of 42.96. So in there and consistent, but he will not threaten the times of Nikhil Bhakta and Brian Giddens today. Ryan Atwell, number 12, out here. Things are getting pretty hot. My computer is almost at max temperature. My microphone is also almost at max temperature. And the riders are almost at max temperature. The sun is relentless. And yet here we are, still having a great time. All righty, Ryan Atwell riding for tequila and burritos. Let's see what he's got. Remember, Ryan prefers not to pedal, and unfortunately for him, Sidewinder is a course that will require some of that pedaling. Here he comes, skating around that first turn. Shoulders were looking a little bit turned to the outside on that one. Maybe he wasn't on the line that he wanted. Oh dear, I'm pushing too many buttons. I'm losing cameras. Okay, we're good. All right, here we got Ryan Atwell back at split 2, 3.19 seconds. Coming in hot towards the finish line. What's he got? Shaking his head across the finish line. He knows this was not his shining moment, but he comes in with a 46.03. Still a very respectable time. Fifth place is a 44.87, so a few seconds off. Rider number 4, Brian Giddens, currently holding the second place in Pro Men with a 42.03. He is literally, what is he, math? That's 0.14 seconds off of the top time. Nikhil, I'm sure, would love to hold that top time for the rest of the day. Nikhil said he is not done riding today, but you get this late in the day with this much heat after that many hard runs. Brian Giddens' first split showing to be green by 0.81 seconds. Didn't see him on camera. There he is. Now he's on camera. Let's bring those splits back. Here we go. Brian Giddens. He's still green at the splits. What's it going to be for Brian? Goes across the finish line with a 41.01, taking 0.9 seconds out of Nikhil Bhakta's fastest time. Brian Giddens now in the top spot. Nikhil Bhakta in second. Joseph DeToy holding on to third. All right, we got Brian Giddens here at the finish line, currently holding the 41.01 top spot. Brian, what are things like out there? It's getting hotter. It's getting looser. What do you think?
The worst part is how chunky it is. Yeah, that's about it.
It's chunky. So how do you avoid the chunk really throwing you off? Because clearly you were focused and you were able to execute here today. What did you do?
I put my butt over the back tire as much as I can.
Awesome. That helps with the grip, I would assume. Helps you get a few little few seconds in that finish time. Do you think Nikhil is going to challenge that time?
Watching his other times lately, I don't know if he'll be able to do it.
Uh-oh. Some strong words. Strong words from Brian Giddens. Nikhil, if you're out there, you have just been challenged by Brian Giddens in the most polite way possible. You have been told that you do not have, in fact, what it takes to beat his time. Nikhil Bhakta, news just in that the 41.01 posted by Brian Giddens was posted by a 41-year-old man. And we don't know much about you, Nikhil. I don't think I have your age in the profile, but you are not a 41-year-old man. So don't let the old guy come out here and smoke you like that. Grant Doolittle, rider number 13, in the start gate, bravely sweating the sun. Let's see what Grant has for us. This will be his third timed lap for the day. He has improved each time. Let's see what Grant has hidden in the tank. Looks like Grant's on screen at our first left-hand turn. Makes it clean around that first turn. The slower a rider takes that turn, the more they have to be on the pedals for that straightaway in the trees. Slide uphill. Here comes Grant around the third big turn, coming down towards the final straight. Grant Doolittle towards the finish line, getting a little silly in the dust there, putting down a 45.39 seconds. So he has indeed put down a new fastest time. Rider number 5, Andrew Berger, doing his second timed lap of the day. Previous time of 44.39, holding fourth place in the most people category for the day, separating himself from that top spot by only 0.4 seconds. And there is definitely 0.4 seconds of time to be made up here on track. Let's see, comes around the first split, back by 1.46. Let's see if Andrew Berger can dig a little bit deeper. See what kind of strength he has left in the legs after being on his bike all day in the heat. And Andrew Berger's cruising down towards the finish line, holding on to it. What's it going to be for Andrew Berger? He goes down with a 45.33, about 1 second back from his previous fastest time of 44.39. Andrew Berger still holding fourth place with a 44.39, a different run. Rider 14, Jacob Willard, doing it out here for Southern Metal Choppers in the heat. Let's see what Jacob has in store. A lot of these riders out here starting to get pretty beat down. It's about 2 p.m. Things are pretty toasty. I don't have a temperature reading of what things are at right now at Spider Mountain, but it is not cool. Not a lot of clouds in the sky. And like Daniel Yeager was saying earlier on in this race, there is quite high contrast. We can start to see it a little bit in the trees here as Jacob Willard comes down through split 2, back by 3.84 seconds. Let's see what Jacob has as he goes through the finish line, pushing the bike through, giving us a 46.06 time. Rider number 13, Grant Doolittle, back out on course despite the heat and the trail continuing to be degraded, as trails always do when we race them. You never know on a racetrack where there's going to be a new rock that's been broken loose sitting right in the middle of your line, as everybody is always pushing their hardest on a race. Let's see, Grant Doolittle coming out towards the finish line, splits 1 and 2, showing to be back just a little bit. Got some words from Grant as he's coming through the finish line. What does he have to say? The time from Grant Doolittle, 45.00 seconds. A new personal best from Grant. He has been chipping away at that. This is his 4th run. Brian Giddens currently holding the top spot, fastest on the racetrack for today, 41.01 seconds. He wants to beat that time on this run. And Nikhil Bhakta on the lift right now does not want him to beat that run. Let's see whose will is going to hold out stronger in this one. Brian Giddens up at the first split by 0.69 seconds. That is a huge margin in that first split. Brian coming in hot towards the finish line. Clearly practiced, up by a second, crosses the finish line with a 40.73 second time, raising the bar for Nikhil Bhakta to beat. Brian Giddens goes fastest with a 40.73. Rider number 3, Nikhil Bhakta, back at the start gate after fighting brutally with Joseph Dutoy all day, and then Brian Giddens joining the mix to sprinkle some fun into the game. Brian Giddens currently holds the top spot with a 40.73. Nikhil followed closely behind with a 41.91, and Joseph Dutoy 42.96, and just like that, Nikhil Bhakta dropping in to give us potentially the fastest run of the day. Does he have what it takes to beat a rider like Brian? We are about to find out. He is pushing clearly on that line. Split 1 showing to be back by 0.81 seconds. Nikhil may not be able to beat Brian's time. We're going to find out, but he is quicker on that second section, so we're going to be, it's really close, 0.75 seconds. Nikhil goes across the line with a 41.34, setting a new fastest time for himself. But Brian Giddens still holds that top spot with a 40.73. Ryan Atwell, rider number 12, riding for Tequila and Burritos, now back at the start gate. His goals via his profile for racing is to, by his words, not suck. And so far, he's been doing a great job putting down a 44.31 as his personal best. And now we've got him, Ryan Atwell, on course. Is he going to crack that 44, maybe sub-44 time? We're going to find out. I don't think the sun getting hotter is going to make this course roll any faster than it was in the morning. Things were already pretty dry. All right, here we go. Ryan Atwell coming around this right-hander with a drop. Looking pretty clean. He's going to be coming out in the open here. Across that double, certainly carrying good speed. Through the off-camber, Ryan Atwell, what's it going to be? And he posts a 44.53 time. Ladies and gentlemen, there are no times left in the 45-second range in that most people category. Ryan Atwell slotting himself. Well, you know what? That would have been another 5th place, but he already had a time of 44.31.